Hi, Facebook family. My name is Imani, and it took me a long time to get here. And if you're seeing this, it means that you need to start. Just start somewhere. A little bit of backstory about me. I have 3 children, and I made a lot of jumps in my life. I jumped after my divorce, and I moved to South Carolina. And if anybody knows about South Carolina, especially small towns, the opportunity for financial growth is not really there, especially, pre content creation and all that good stuff. So I had to take what I had to take, because I had to provide for my children. They were small at the time. After a while, I said, Imani, with the degrees that you have in accounting and an MBA, you gotta challenge yourself a little more. So let's take another jump. Well, I did. I jumped and I moved back to New York. And at the time when I moved back to New York, my grandmother was alive and she allowed myself and my 3 children to live with her. She wasn't in the greatest health, but she was doing well. The only issue was my kids were very rambunctious, very loud. They like to move around. They like to run up and down the stairs and make a lot of noise. And she just was not used to that. Her kids, her grandkids were grown. And if she had younger grandkids, they lived with their parents. So she was definitely not used to that. And it was causing her some issues. So what I decided to do, because I did not want to move back to South Carolina, that really defeated the purpose, I decided to go into a homeless shelter. And if anybody knows anything about homeless shelters in New York, they are rough. A little better for families, but rough nonetheless. And even though, my kids were with me, we were a family, it wasn't what I wanted for them. I knew that they deserved better. And I felt like I failed them. But I also knew that I could make something of myself because, let's face it, if you can make it here in New York City in the Big Apple, you can make it anywhere. So I called my ex-husband, their dad, and I said, listen, do you mind taking them for me until I can get myself together? And he agreed. He lived in Pennsylvania at the time. I drove them down. We exchanged them. And I came back up here and moved back in with my grandmother and started my life. Now, I don't want to say started my life. My life was already started. But started my, path to where I'm at now. So, like I said, I have 2 different degrees. However, it's big to have connections, and I really didn't have a lot of connections. So I had to start somewhere. And believe it or not, I worked at Macy's, and I worked at Macy's part-time. And I loved it. I can tell you what it taught me. It taught me how to communicate with others, how to network, how to interact. Something that I'm a little shy about, but, it was a part of the job. I can also tell you how it helped me. It helped me to lose some weight because when I left South Carolina, I was much heavier. And the walking around and the parking my car and the taking the bus and the train helped me to slim down at the time. And it gave me the opportunity to go and visit my children when I wanted to because I didn't have to work full time. But that was a seasonal position, after the season ended, and I had to find something else. And I had a friend who had a connection. Like I said, connections are good. And I got a position in revenue cycle management, which is basically billing for medical billing. I had never been in medical billing, but I had a background working for an insurance company. Actually, I started my career off working for a very large insurance company in Philadelphia, Independence Blue Cross, where I worked in the legal department. So I worked with contracts. I learned a lot about that. And when I lived in South Carolina, I actually worked on the claim side, processing the claims. So here I am. I have an accounting degree. I understand finance. I have the claims knowledge. So I married all of that information together, and I got into revenue cycle management. When I got into revenue cycle management, I saw the ability to become very lucrative in the field. I didn't really understand it as much at first, but I knew that they were really high level positions that I could get into, if I put the time in. That particular position ended earlier than a year. However, I was promoted twice in that year because, like I said, I had a lot of the background knowledge, and I was just able to marry everything that I knew from my 20s up to the time that I was working, my late 30s, together, and I performed very well. But that position ended. They were acquired, and they just pretty much got rid of the people that were newly in, and I was a newer employee. So I was unemployed for a while. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges in life, and that's okay because that's what happens. But what I realized is you learn from them and you move on, and prayerfully you do better. So after that, I was unemployed probably about 4 months. Yeah, 4 months. And I found a position that I worked for with a large nonprofit organization. And I came in, it was actually a billing supervisor position when I interviewed. But with the knowledge that I had, they gave me the billing manager position. They actually increased my salary by, I want to say, close to $20,000, and gave me and changed the title to management position. When I went in there, I was up under a deputy director. They did not have a director at the time, and I learned a lot from her. And I was able to progress in that position. As she was promoted, I was promoted. So I went from revenue cycle. Well, they changed the title to revenue cycle. From billing manager to revenue cycle manager, and then her position was changed to director. Then after a couple of years, my title changed to deputy director, and she was still director. There was no other position she could go up to. After a while, she decided to leave the organization, and they felt as if I would fit perfectly in that role as director, a revenue cycle manager, and that's what I did. And I got that position a year before the pandemic happened. So you can imagine I'm newly taking over the role of this department, and the whole world is changing. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So now we have to go, work from home, something that I had never done before prior to the pandemic. And I'm, over a department of, I think it was 12 at the time, maybe 13. And making sure, because this is the money, this is what's bringing in this is what's bringing in that money. But making sure that everyone is doing their jobs and the money's still rolling in, and that we're able to maintain for the organization, and I did so successfully. However, I knew that after a while there was not more that I can teach staff in the department, not more that I can learn for myself. And I just felt like I outgrew the position. I had some life changes. My daughter was graduating from high school. All of my kids had graduated high school at this point, and I just felt I needed to change. So last year, in June of 2023, I resigned from my position. And I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do next. I just knew that I needed to go where the growth was. I felt stagnant. I needed to grow, So I took some time off. I took a year, and I really thought about how could I grow, but also how could I help others. And so I say, if you're seeing this, it's because I know you need help. And it could be in the area of your finances, because believe it or not, I have been able to maintain financially without any income coming in for the last year because of my financial knowledge and understanding and how to save and how to spend and how to budget, how to manage money. But I also know that it takes an understanding of yourself and belief in yourself to be able to make these types of moves. So it's not just a transformation of your mindset in regards to money, it's a transformation of your mindset in regards to how you feel about yourself. One thing I heard maybe a couple of years ago is your salary or how much you earn is a direct reflection of what you believe about yourself. Because I feel like a lot of people settle because they don't think that they are worth more. And to be honest and transparent, I have in my life settled because let's be real, I didn't think that I was worth more, and now I know that I am worth more, and I believe in myself, and so I am starting a new journey to help others believe in themselves and to understand their worth for themselves so that they can earn more for themselves and be financially free and provide for their family and not feel like they're living from paycheck to paycheck. You know, I understand completely how that is, especially when you have children. I get it. I've been there. I told you the story. It's not easy, but you can get out of it. You just have to make jumps. And in order for you to make jumps, you have to believe. Like, you just have to believe that you're going to be okay and that you're going to be provided for. So, you are here because you need to be on this journey. And you are here and you have listened to this point because you know you deserve more. You know that you are worthy. You know that there is more out there for you and that you can get it. You just have to believe in yourself. And I'm here to help you do that. So, continue to watch me. I will guide you every step of the way. I have a podcast. It's called I Don't Know But, and it is on all platforms. And we're going to be a family. We're going to get through this. We're going to build up that self-esteem. We're going to earn what we're supposed to earn. We're going to save what we're supposed to save. We're going to have great times. We're going to go on trips and buy the things that we want to buy because we deserve everything that we desire. So, I hope that you subscribe, you hit that subscribe button, and you become a part of this family because I know you didn't get to this point or see this video for no reason. So until next time, take care.